Hello, 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 boys and girls, welcome back for game 3 of this series. I'm a bit late because I'm ready to pack up and just leave. I think I'm gonna have a couple of weeks holidays. It's gonna be cool. It's freaking hot here where I live, so hopefully I'm gonna have some nice weather and enjoy the sun. But well, that's not what we're talking about here, is it? We're just focusing on this game. It is game 3 from this series I started a couple of days ago. Once again a clash between these two huge players taken from the SK Gaming Champions Trophy, the Asian edition. Blue Zerg spawning here on this bottom left corner. oGsZenio, huge Zerg player. As you guys know, if you've been following the GSL, he's been doing pretty well actually, trying to keep his pace and actually retain his spot on Code S. But I'm not gonna spoil anything, you guys can just watch it and enjoy it. And he's gonna be facing here against this red Terran, his teammate, member of Team Old Generation Starcrafters as well, oGsHyperdub. Solid player, also playing on the GSL. Really good players, both of them. I mean, they're probably some of the oldest members on Team OGS and amongst the most well-known in the OGS team in the Old Generation Starcrafters. And I mean, this is one of the top Korean pro gaming teams. It doesn't get much better than this. So, as you can see, we're gonna have the third match going on here on Crevasse or Crevasse. I'm not sure exactly what tone or pronunciation to use, but still you guys know what I mean. Kind of a nice map. Big one with this really easy expo to grab. Though he has a price to pay, only has one gas. For the Zerg player might not be the biggest of the issues, you know, at least on the early stages, but for the other races they should consider trying to grab this expo here. But as you know, it's very wide open, it's hard to defend and contain aggression here, so I guess we're gonna wait and see to check if Hyperdub is gonna head straight into this expo here, the well protected one but with less gas, or if he's gonna take his chances and move onwards to the front of his main base. For now he's just starting, grabbing the first gas. There's not much going on. We have Zenio already with almost half of his hatchery done on that expo, so he went to grab the expo first. Now the spawning pool is popping out and there's no signs of gas, meaning that he's not feeling in a hurry to get his Zergling speed rolling. This SCV from Hyperdub is just checking everything while the drone finally arrives into Hyperdub's base and was able to pass there, but now he has two Marines hunting him down, so I guess he's not going to be able to survive here much unless he decides to go for a gas steal. But no, Hyperdub reacting really fast, grabbing the gas himself and finished off the scouting for Zenio. There it is, Hyperdub grabbing here his natural expo as well. So playing out of two bases fairly soon, with an SCV arriving here on the base from Zenio once more. Taking a look around, there's not much for him to see, and actually we have Zenio just putting out the first batch of Zerglings. They're going to be able to finish off this SCV. He will have to run away soon enough. Let me see what's going on here on the back. He's already working on the gas there, though he didn't grab any gas on his main. And we have this fairly sturdy wall off by Hyperdub. Actually just opened a little gap there and is going from the racks into a factory. If you guys recall, on the previous match we had what I would say that was an interesting strategy by Hyperdub. I don't see Terran players going that heavy on the mech play against Zerg much often, but Hyperdub went for a lot of Hellions and then he backed up with more mech, siege tanks and such, and was really impressive to watch. Apparently here he might be planning something like that, because you're gonna have the reactor once more and he's preparing the switch. So I think you're gonna have some Hellion harass in swing once more. I mean, he paid dividends on the previous match and he might be considering to do the same. See if Zenio is gonna break once more under all that roast, all of that barbecue made by the Hellions. It was a good option, so Hyperdub is gonna try it out once more. Also, what else is he building on the back? Okay, seems like he's gonna go for a lot of mech play once more. He's getting the second factory there, while on inside Zenio's bases we have the Roach Warren coming out, and the Roaches are quite effective against those Hellions. Might be the best way to go on these early stages, especially because, as you guys know, Hellions just roast all of those Zerglings and drones on the mineral line. It's kinda messy. So the roaches are very sturdy with that 1 armor and plenty of HP. They'll be able to just spew saliva, that acidic saliva, into these Hellions until they just melt away. For now I have the first couple advancing into the bases from oGsZenio. Zenio, I'm not sure if he's ready to sustain this assault, but he has plenty of Zerglings there, so he might be ready for it. Though we do see Hyperdub stacking more and more Hellions. Inside his base, he's getting more factories, as you can see. A third factory going down actually, and that one with the tech lab. So he's stacking up on his mech play. I think he's going to go for a similar build to what he did on the previous match, and this is going to be awesome to watch. I mean, I'm so curious to see how effective this is, because you don't see Terran players going this heavy for the mech play against Zerg that frequently, and I'm just curious about it. Meanwhile, we have Zenio grabbing a third, fairly quick third, as you can see, 7 minutes and a half on in-game time. It's quite a quick one. Not going to be easy to defend. This place is very wide open, but I think he has what he takes. He's getting some roaches out to stand in front of that base. Keep in mind that on the units you have on Hyperdub side is basically a bunch of Hellions and only 3 Marines, so these roaches will be able to handle a confrontation against the Hellions. And incoming a lot of Hellions now, and now transitioning to siege tanks, so getting a lot of mech play ensuing here, and also preparing the blue flame. So we're gonna have some very powerful Hellion harassing coming. There's a lot of Hellions trying to flank the roaches. They were able to pass. Are they gonna go straight into the main base? Apparently yes. There's no queens blocking the path that gives access to the main base, and now we're gonna have those Hellions all pinned against the wall, but roasting most of those Zerglings, and able to get out. They racked up a lot of kills, but they weren't able to reach the mineral line, so well defended by Zenio. They were actually able to roast a lot of Zerglings, but I mean, that's the price to pay, and Zenio was willing to. The good thing here for Zenio was that those Hellions weren't able to arrive and reach any of the workers on the mineral lines, and like that, he's just keeping his economy thriving and rolling as it was since the early stages of the game. As you guys can see, he's miles ahead on the harvester count, has 10 more. On the economy, it's actually quite balanced, but that's a sign, obviously, that the mules and the 2-base play from Hyperdub is still enough to withstand all of that economy. But it won't be soon. I mean, he's just draining his mineral lines, and he needs to keep advancing. Now, interesting decision here by Hyperdub, now going for the armory, so getting more and more tech out and investing on his mech play. Probably going to get some upgrades for his mech units, this mech army, soon enough out of those armories. We might be even seeing some Thors, but I mean, doesn't make much sense for now. I haven't seen any kind of air aggression, no Mutalisk plans. Actually gonna have a macro hatchery inside the main base, and I do see Baneling's Nest getting ready for Zenio. So he's messing up, getting some nice reinforcements there, some static defenses on front of his third base, and we're gonna have a small clash ensuing here on the Xel'Naga watchtower with the roaches taking control and pushing back those Hellions. So now we have Hyperdub just hanging here in the entrance to his main base. At the same time, he's making the command center, as you guys noticed, so he's gonna grab his third and keep rolling on the economy game. Now, taking a look at the bases, we have that macro hatch, like I stated. We have here Baneling's Nest almost finished, and Evo Chamber taking care of the upgrades. At the same time, Zenio just engaging his macro mode and grabbing a fourth, so he's miles ahead on the econ game from Hyperdub. This is going to translate into a really good income. As you can see, there's already a gap there, not a big one, but when he has those 4 bases rolling, it's going to be a nice boost there, and won't be Hyperdub able to reach his income level playing out of 2 bases. He needs to expand and grab his third as soon as possible, which apparently Hyperdub is doing so. So this might be more even than I expected. Now we have this big siege tank army advancing, destroying this debris and trying to get a new entrance, a new passage into the bases from Zenio. Keep in mind that on the supply, as you can see, there's 144 against 128, so a bit of a gap. Zenio leading there. And on the army, taking a look at the units, 9 siege tanks, 12 Hellions is a lot, and then only 4 Marines against 24 roaches, and the roaches are flanking here on the north side. They're gonna clash against the Hellions. Ooh, now pulling back along the siege tanks, just making a fairly long siege line. Notice the amount of SCVs hanging there on the front, making sure they're gonna be able to keep those siege tanks repaired, alive and kicking, while the roaches pass here, flank on the north, pulling all the Hellions back, trying to defend, but there's way too many roaches for this Hellion count, and the siege tanks need to start blasting here. Meanwhile, we see Zenio just with an Overlord drop, dropping a lot of units here on top of this siege line and wreaking havoc onto Hyperdub's bases. Impressive aggression here by Zenio, destroying the siege line and getting rid of that containment that Hyperdub was trying to apply on him. Now he's gonna push. There's already Thors coming out, also upgrades for the mech vehicles, as you can see. Plating level 1 coming out, while we have the Spire on Zenio's side getting ready, so kind of some error ensuing pretty soon while the roaches advance. Incoming Overlords loaded with Zerglings, Banelings and roaches. I think he's gonna try another drop once more. Here he comes, people, get ready. Whoa, massive aggression here with all of those roaches, Banelings and Zerglings dropping and forcing Hyperdub to GG out of the match. Huge assault here, massive drop with so many units, and Hyperdub didn't have enough to defend, so Zenio this time able to defend the mech aggression, and with those huge Overlord drops just able to finish off all the forces from Hyperdub. There was a big gap at the moment, as you guys can see on the supply, 164 against 81. So basically you had a huge force from Zenio crushing Hyperdub after he lost his mech army, and there wasn't much left. I mean, it takes a while for you to get your mech army back up and running, and Hyperdub just was taking care of that, but it wasn't enough. Look at this, double armory to get upgrades as fast as possible, and even some Thors already out, though I actually haven't seen much of an airplay. I mean, he had Hellions and siege tanks, and Zenio was actually taking care of getting some Mutalisks out, so it would be a nice add to his army. Still wasn't needed. He played out of these 4 bases, destroyed Hyperdub, and take the final victory on this series 2-1. So congrats to Zenio, and here we go. Let's check another matchup. See you all later. Have fun.